Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to LEGO DC Supervillains. Let's continue. So I've decided to start unlocking characters as we're doing the open world, so that means potentially we're going to be suggested some random characters that we might have more of an opportunity to play. And in that, I guess am on the lookout for what is the most recent character. So Adam Strange here is a character from like 1958, showcase number 17. An accidental encounter with a Zeta beam. Archaeologist Adam Strange was sent 25 trillion miles from Earth to the distant planet Vran. As a skilled scientist, Adam used his advanced technology to defend his new home and family. So this is some character that I just don't even know. He's affiliated with Justice League and Rebels with periods between each letter. Now the reason why I'm on the lookout potentially for like the newest character, like this might be the newest character in the whole game, is because you run into this situation where the characters are less and less likely to be created the farther you get towards the present time, because DC doesn't want to have to pay new artists any royalties. Although in all fairness, I wouldn't be surprised if most of the writers and artists that create characters for DC these days are doing it under commissioned work as an employee, so the ownership perhaps arguably shouldn't be, but is completely going to DC as a corporation. This one's 2005. I think Harley Quinn might. Nope. The newest character. Let's check Detective Chimp and see how old he is as a character. Of course, now we're not really playing the game. He showed up in The Adventure of Rex the Wonder Dog in 1952. So, yeah. He's not new. I think Grail would probably be our biggest character so far. Yeah. This might be the newest character. Justice League 40 2015. So Grail, daughter of Darkseid, goddess of anti-life. Yeah. She may be the newest character. Meanwhile, for the actual game, we're doing Ace Chemicals here to get all the collectibles. If somehow we got all of this done fairly quickly, I guess we would maybe go and do this section, or we could go and do the swamp if we got done really quickly. I doubt we're gonna get done that quickly. So Grail is just dragging a Lego scythe.
We're a group of very talented goons, but after carefully assessing the situation, I have concluded that we don't have the synergy to pull this one off. We need someone who can get our barrel under that faucet and then fill it up. Simple, right? If you take care of this, we'll take care of you, okay?
So, well, now that we've unlocked a lot of characters, we are going to keep an eye out to see if the suggested characters are...
Almost there! We just have to fill the barrel! Go, team! Oh no, I think you're making it worse! Get the barrel! Get the barrel!
Okay, we had to move the barrel first. At least the guy's helping us. Why am I being suggested Mirror Master in that case? And why do we have a timer? Seems weird to have a timer. It seems weird to be suggested Harley Quinn. Deadshot, Deathstroke,
Someone with my expertise.
kind of very similar named characters. Definitely not characters I would remember completely. I guess I have just a little bit of time now to move this.
Thanks for the help. You really made a great addition to the team. Now, take this and get out of here. Let us worry about the paperwork.
In that case, if I didn't have demolition mode on, I guess I could have jumped on that and gotten to a higher spot. It's interesting that there's little hidden pieces here around the corners. Although that all kind of makes some sense that you would have just hidden pieces everywhere to better integrate into this open world the feeling that this is a Lego world instead of just being what it mostly is, which is just your standard nothing video game backdrop. Thanks for help with the chemicals. Maybe you'll see me driving the transport truck, says Brian. Okay. Running around, bumping into things. And see, I don't know if these getaway races matter or if I'm supposed to say take this garbage truck for a challenge. There, we've unlocked a new character. I think she's one of the... Hey, the garbage truck disappeared. So I guess it didn't matter. There is a click sound happening when I walk around this area, which gives me the impression that there's something to do lower down in this direction. So we'll just jump downward and start to investigate some more.
There's got to be something to this.
Lego cement mixers. And here we have Huntress. She's probably going to have us run around talking to people.
Hey, I need your help. I've been tapping phones to keep an eye on some local criminals, and it's turned up some new leads. Unfortunately, I can't go to the birds of prey without some more solid evidence. Do you think you could grab some photos of the suspects for me?
Interesting, a new challenge.
There's a gang hanging around the docks in Gotham with some crates. Could be explosives, could be weapons. Whatever it is, it's bad news. Some of Joker's guys are lurking around near Arkham Asylum. I don't know who they could be trying to break out. I mean, who couldn't get past those security guards? They're pretty terrible. The Riddlers, Riddlies, whatever they're called. They're sneaking around near Ace Chemicals. Not sure what they're planning, but if it's anything like their usual schemes, I've no doubt it'll be pointlessly elaborate.
So we've got three fairly distant photos we have to take now. Right. So it makes all the sense in the world to pick somebody to fly, and even though I've unlocked a bunch of characters that can fly, picking Black Adam still feels like the default choice.
That old thing, it fell off the back of a truck.
Okay.
Thanks for telling me about this job. I've been looking to get out of this life of crime for a while.
Don't mention it, buddy. Just crossing my fingers that one of us gets the job.
Oh, I'm sure you'll get it. You were born to be a factory worker.
Did we get the picture?
It's the tragic backstory.
Guess we did. Okay. And if anything, it sounds to me like they aren't up to no good. But they're actually trying to get out of the crime life. Of course, the problem now is Gotham docks could be just about anywhere. So this might be a challenge that's too much of a challenge. Like when you look at the map, Gotham is effectively mostly dock.
Where are you, my dear?
So we can like fly around a little bit, but that was an unfair description to say around Gotham docks. Yeah. There's basically no chance I would have been able to get this.
Here. One half vanilla, the other half lemon, right?
Two-Face is gonna love this. Don't be late. The party starts at 5.
And it's only going to get weirder now because the only way to get to Arkham is to fly through this tunnel or drive through this tunnel or walk through this tunnel. In some way go through this tunnel. And since we're going through Arkham again, we should keep an eye out for that last runaway character we couldn't find before. He might have respawned. Or I might just see him. These guys are over here.
I'm so proud of Dave getting fully rehabilitated. He never took the easy way out and escaped.
Yeah, he's a credit to the gang.
I hope he likes the banner.
I'm sure he will. After all that glitter glue we used, he'll love it.
So there's kind of a narrative even to this challenge. Which, yeah, I can say I sort of appreciate the idea of putting more of a narrative in the challenges. And the jokiness of a bunch of bad guys not really doing anything bad. Although I don't think that's particularly trying to be much of an indication of the character design of Huntress. I think she is pretty much just a serious character that probably doesn't make assumptions or get it wrong as far as criminal activity any more than any of the other characters in the DC universe. There probably is at least one character in the DC universe that is constantly making the wrong assumptions. That would be a good, funny, like Bizarro Batman type character who's the world's worst detective and gets things wrong all the time. The birds of prey and their group of characters, I don't think ever really were given enough of a chance to succeed, and thus I don't think they ever became super popular. Inherently, I don't know if any newer character could become popular in DC. There's just too many characters already.
Oh, this is a little embarrassing. I guess the situation's more innocent than I'd assumed. Maybe all this spying on people might be a bit extreme, given the evidence. Always better to be safe than sorry. Anyways, thanks for your help. Let me know if you ever need the assistance of a bird of prey.
Curious. Perhaps this has hidden magical properties.
So there's a gold brick right up here. Next, try and collect. Okay. Some kind of puzzle game. Again, from the approach, as I was flying towards this, I should have gotten a general idea of what I would be interacting with and what I would be collecting. Like, it's taken way too long for me to realize that I needed a shrink character to go in here. Which I thought that's what I needed. Like, we don't have a Magneto character that would magnetically move things, do we? Not in the DC universe. But those... You'd think this would be the entrance. But no such luck. It probably is the wrong character, though. I bet that's it. Because we've seen in the past this happening where one character didn't fit, but another did. We could try the Joker and see if maybe his chattering teeth are supposed to go through this whole area. Yeah, chattering teeth do make it through this area. Interesting. But that really has to just highlight the perfect example of how there's too many effects and abilities in this game, in that shrinking a character is a very logical solution to this, and yet it's the wrong solution. And I'd have to just assume all of this would reset if the chattering teeth blew up. So you couldn't just, like, do that and reset.
Thank you. Thank you. I accept this on behalf of Batman villains everywhere. Yo, Harley, I did it.
Okay. Next. Collectible. Let's just go this way. I guess that road just connects to Gotham. I thought there might be something more to it than that. I guess you run the slight danger, too, of... Seems like there's nothing here on this side, so it must be lower. Ace Chemical, when you see a Lego build, feels like an interesting thing. Maybe a character that can double jump, but why not just switch to a character that can fly if you can double if you're trying to get over a ledge we can't get over.
Well, this is quite the pickle. How are we going to tip this over?
This is obviously not worth my time.
Blowing up the garbage can apparently counted as a bad action, or blowing other things up not so much. Even though I needed
That might work, but I still can't
to
do
do
it on
it
my own.
for the
Those
garbage
goons
truck.
got to. They left for smoothies an hour ago.
It really feels like these Lego games should be more like an RPG game where you get experience instead of studs the more you break things. But if you were going to do that, the leveling up if of your RPG characters would probably need to just slightly increase the speed or the amount of damage they do when they hit. Not give any like really special abilities that you couldn't get elsewhere. And at a certain level it doesn't matter if you're collecting studs or if you're collecting XP. Character went back to beating on the invisible wall. I think I needed I don't even know where I'm supposed to press B. Yeah, I still need another character. So somewhere around here is another goon. I suppose it's just a little weird to have your currency in the game be so invaluable once you have all the score multipliers, and if you don't have the stud multipliers then you basically don't have a I had to just target it.
Thanks for helping us out, and I promise this definitely wasn't the same chemicals you helped me with earlier. Definitely not.
So we're getting a through line in these quests too.
Thank you. I accept this on behalf of Batman villains everywhere. Yo, Harley, I did it.
Seems like there would be something here, but I guess at the moment there isn't. Probably we'll have to leave the area and come back. He attacked me first, in that case. I guess it is interesting that there's such a little value on XP in most games, that to the point where a lot of times in games they don't actually even tell you the actual amount of XP you're getting. It's just an internal metric. And I guess that would be an interesting connection to, say, like a Japanese RPG game that where XP is a big thing, as Lego games are potentially grindy like them. Not anywhere as much, but if you enjoy a Lego game and collecting 100% of all the collectibles, you probably would also enjoy playing, say, Pokemon, which would be a kid's first Japanese RPG, collectathon, creature collector. And I guess this is a creature collector game. It may not so much seem like it at first glance, but all the minifigs are creature collectors. And I guess that's an interesting idea. If you played a Lego game where you were unlocking minifigs and then you were using them like Pokemon to fight
no problem for the
other
Dark Archer.
people. So this has to go. Like, what am I even trying to do here? I feel like I may have solved... Now you have to go down here. That seems fairly obvious. So working backwards from that spot, then that. You really gotta click on the center of all of this too. All this is spinning, right? That seems to be all I can do is spin things. And if I center this in such a way that two things will touch. You can't spin this. Can't spin this. Let's try this again. This is the unlock spot. A works the same as X. This would make a lot more sense if this lined up in some way. But it doesn't seem like it lines up at all. Is it possible that there are some invisible connections? I suppose that's somewhat possible. Let's just click on some other things and see. That lights that part up, which lights these two up.
There's haunted trees out in Arkham. I wonder if there's any magic money trees out there.
I just am gonna have to assume that that's glitched. Let's move on to the next one. Because, yeah, that just feels glitched. Maybe if we exit and come back, we'll get a different puzzle that can actually be solved. Or maybe there's some other element to it that I don't realize. Like some extra pieces being added might change things. Oh, where am I? Got turned around there.
Thank you. Thank you. I accept this on behalf of Batman villains everywhere.
This place. So ghastly.
I suppose it might be a good idea to go ahead and cheat and use the super slap cheat code. That might speed up playing this game a little bit if you started the game with super slap and every hit killed somebody in one hit. But honestly, you don't really need it because in the story mode, you're just not punching enemies that often. Although in this game, in particular, when you get into the boss fights, you are punching them a little bit more.
Ah, a pleasure to meet you. I am the Shade. Some villains control minds, some villains sing songs. Me, I see madness. Just as my wealth amassed, so did my enemies. Although I manipulate the shadows, I sometimes cannot see inside the deep, dark recesses of this city. Find out who put a pretty penny on my head whilst I hide in this dive. A definite improvement over the last person who tickled my fancy. Go, speak to those who would bring about my untimely end.
Okay. So, it seems to me like there's somebody higher up that we need to talk to. But it's not worth it to try and parkour when you can just fly. Obviously there was a parkour path that way, and that would have led up here. So now peeping penguin. I think the character I'm supposed to talk to is actually down here. Well, no. It indicates the person is higher up. Higher than where I am now. So somewhere on this level, or perhaps a little bit higher, is supposed to be somebody. Let's deface the statue for Ace Chemical, I guess. Joker Chemical. Of course, it was the Joker who fell into the vat of acid that... Yeah, at Ace Chemical, or the Red Hood that fell into the vat of acid at Ace Chemical to become the Joker. So maybe a character just standing on this highway that I'm supposed to talk to.
Where are all the famous tourist attractions I wanted to see? Oh right, they're in New York.
Okay. So it seems like I have to figure out a way to get inside one of these buildings. Oh, there they are. So they're kind of hiding the character so you can't see.
They don't tell me anything. This is just a part-time gig for me. I've got plans to open up a cat petting zoo, the first of its kind.
It's funny, they do have cat cafes now that are effectively petting zoos with small tea and biscuit type food servings on top of selling snacks to give the cats. It would have taken a lot more writing, but I would have appreciated if all the goon characters had kind of unique lines of dialogue that made them feel like they were unique characters, particularly if they're all heavily influenced by the idea of not really being good at being a goon. Because that would be the irony of all ironies, is if Batman was paying all the goons to be inept or something along that line. Of course, Batman beats up goons as much as he beats up non-goons. Interesting, the purple stud just there. That might be implied to be Catwoman's apartment. Just have a guy walking around. So if this is the movie theater here, then this might be the movie theater where Bruce Wayne's parents were gunned down behind Crime Alley. But if that is the case, then not really seeing anything here. See, that would take us into another level, which I don't want to do. This could be Crime Alley. And I've noticed that the game likes to save quite often, which is probably an admittance even by the game that it's kind of a crashy game. Like if we go, I have to be on the ground to talk to this
If I
guy.
hide here long enough, I'm sure to win. Maybe I'll even break his record. I am getting hungry, though.
I don't know if that guy's just playing hide and seek or what. I would assume if the game is saving, it's very possibly also loading at the same time. Okay. Am I supposed to be? Why would those two fight me? Ever.
The Shade? Someone out to get him? I've no idea what you're talking about. Not all us henchmen act the same, you know.
So, looks like there's another one. Maybe up on the roof. Maybe not on the roof. Maybe on this balcony. Which that would be a difficult balcony to reach if you weren't flying.
I know I really shouldn't be telling you this, but they don't call me Tony Tattletale for nothing. A guy called Ludlow sent us to take out that guy in the top hat. Keep it to yourself, okay?
There's probably a gold brick by going in here. In that building. The penguin's place. We'll get to that later. Tram, a gold brick over here. The last character to talk to is over that way. Yeah, you would think something like this would be important. Cement mixers and chemical things. Oh, I'm calling them cement mixers, but they may be more indications of chemical mixers. It's weird though that they don't have shipping containers made out of Lego. What would be even weirder though is if the entirety of the game was originally created in Lego and then they had to run some kind of algorithm to say how much can a Nintendo Switch handle as far as rendering in Lego form, and then just slowly strip back the textures and the 3D models of the items to make them non-Lego-fied. That's almost certainly not what happened, but a similar system I'm sure was talked about or applied in the sense that they made decisions as far as what was going to be made out of Lego bricks and breakable and what wasn't. And the whole world theoretically could be a Minecraft game where everything was breakable in Lego form. But there is some need to have some things not breakable, otherwise your world is going to fall apart. Although it could be a case where you would get into a... Where are we? I think I canceled the quest. Somehow. I think unintentionally the quest got canceled when the police started chasing us. Gotham City Police Department. Just in the middle of Base Chemical. Or signed for Gotham City Police Department.
A pleasure to meet you. Although I manipulate a definite improvement over the last person who tickled my verse. Go, speak to those who will bring about my untimely end.
Please, they don't tell me anything. This is
It's
just
the
a part-time
same
gig.
dialogue.
I've got plans.
Please don't hit me! I'll tell you where he lives. The one who sent us lives at 1 Gotham Street, Gotham Central, Gotham.
That sounds made up. Very strange that the quest would just end like that. because I hit a recycling bin. Which lets I assume what happened. You just want to get on the edge
If
so
I
I can
hide
hit
here
B.
long enough, I'm sure to win. Maybe I'll even break his record.
And redoing this is not terrible, but it's not ideal.
Someone out to get him? I have no idea what you're talking about. Not all of
I kind of feel like the address might be real.
I know I really shouldn't be telling you this, but they don't call me Tony Tattletale for nothing.
And yeah, I guess if you just want to speed run the game, you can walk away from everybody talking. You can definitely see how flying is helpful. We got it right with the 2 correct answers first once, and it didn't give us any achievement or anything, so we might as well just get all the lines of dialogue. So
Let me just jot this down in my notebook. Even a rapscallion likes cats. Who doesn't?
So that was wrong. I can barely even read the text. The white on white background is a big mistake.
What an odd coincidence. He appears to be competing in a trivial game of hide and seek. Well, the plot thins. I shouldn't be so keen to paint them with the same brush.
So those were the 3 wrong responses, and I guess 1 Gotham Street, Gotham Central, Gotham
An address.
is correct.
Perfectly precise.
Which Gotham Street in Gotham Central and Gotham is highly unlikely to exist. One main street would almost certainly be the town hall.
Ludlow. Ludlow. I know that name. Why do I know it? The shadows are clearing, and with it comes clarity. Ludlow sent this band of rascals to claim what is owed. Who is Ludlow, you ask? My landlord. My rent is 1, 2, 3 months overdue. How shameful. I should stop being a screw.
I guess
and
this
pay him
is
a visit
the
at
joke.
his old haunt. Could you tell the hoodlums that are promptly going to burst through the door that it was all a misunderstanding, please? Much obliged.
Nothing can match my powers. But I shall take this item over. Foolish mortals.
And then we have a ninja fight that with Super Slap we get through really quickly. Let's go into the area here and check out the Monarch Theater.
My star! Where's my Martha? This is her big scene. Well, one of them.
Hiding.
Well, until Miss Stage Fright decides to woman up, I guess we'll just be stuck doing
Woman
vocal
up is
exercises.
a weird phrase to use. I think you would just go with man up. Or just not use the phrase at all.
Oh, some of that was fudge flavored.
So this is seems to be a stage.
Why isn't anyone joining in? You're actors. Actors, for goodness sake.
Just breaks a bunch of stuff on the stage. So I was thinking this was going to be a movie theater.
A bit of butter. The butter Betty Botter bought was a bit bitter and made her batter bitter. But a bit of better butter makes the batter better. So Betty Botter bought a bit of better butter.
Bit
making
of
Betty
popcorn.
Botter's bitter batter better.
No, we don't want to leave. There's little popcorn things all over the place. But those aren't Lego either. So there's some things you can break in this area, but not really much.
Could someone do a coffee run? My lips are taking quite the licking.
So we turn on the applause light, which drops a bunch of Lego roses.
Maybe putting a recently unabandoned theater cum cinema and a famously safety lax chemical plant in such close quarters was a bad idea.
Okay. So now we have to find 3 flowers because we're going to, I guess, poison ivy gas her. That being said, it doesn't seem to me.
I'm unable to use this? Oh no. Whatever will the daffodils?
Like, feels like there should have been a way to find these flowers first. Instead, we've destroyed everything, and we saw that there were 3 flower pots.
There are no objections.
They couldn't be destroyed, so obviously those are the things we're gonna interact with. They're slowing us down a little bit by having us use Cheetah's tracking ability. Now we switch to poison ivy. And you would have to just assume that this is the last of everything we're going to do around here, because there can't be too much unless we get into a whole nother section that's like a projection room behind these doors. I suspect we won't get into an entirely different room as much as we might get into just a small little alcove. These cauldrons and gases easily could have been removed from the game to both make it feel a little bit more kid-friendly, but also to just lean heavier into the other gimmicks that already exist in the game. Or you could have had a puzzle
Why don't you feed us all a big bowl of Gotham
or a
can-do
terminal
attitude
to
and
hack
get on that stage.
to release the gas in the first place,
You are a terrible director.
instead
That
of using
isn't
a
me,
cauldron.
young man. I have been on television on 2 occasions now, and only once as the defendant. Let's hear it from the top, Martha.
Oh, Thomas, what a wonderful performance of The Spark of Bloro, starring Douglas Fairbanks as
They're
the titular
referencing
character
the
at
Mark of
Monarch
Zorro.
Theater,
That's
Gotham
what
City, USA. I particularly
the
enjoyed
Waynes
the
we were
nuance
watching
and
with Bruce
subtlety of the
Wayne.
villain.
Totally. Let's take
So
a
this is a
shortcut through this dark
reenactment
and alley because
of his
as a
parents
rich
getting
person,
killed.
My time is valuable.
Of course,
Because
phones
this,
wouldn't
I am
have
willing to
existed
put our lives
at
on
that
the line
point.
to save a few seconds.
What a wonderful idea, Richard.
Portable
I
cell
mean,
phones wouldn't have
Thomas?
existed.
Wait! Dramatic gasp! Who's that in the shadows?
Okay, so I have a couple of notes. Thomas, it would be wonderful if you could perhaps put away the cellular telephone and engage more with the script. Martha, if you could perhaps try facing your on-screen husband and sounding like an actual human being. Let's try that again from the top.
Oh, Thomas, what a wonderful performance of The Spark of...
The lighting system there is very Lego-y. I like that.
Well, thus far this has been as disastrous as that time I tried to audition for Macbeth.
I don't know why they wouldn't make a reference directly to just the Mask of Zorro. It's not like that's copyrighted to the point we can't mention the name. It's mentioned in every other comic and everything. And I suspect her calling him Richard instead of Thomas is possibly a reference to maybe some mistake that happened in some comic where they changed Thomas Wayne to be Richard Wayne on accident, which those kinds of mistakes happen fairly frequently in comic books. Considering how they're only a few pages long each month, you think you wouldn't run into those problems, but you do. Alright, so this is... I'm not sure exactly what I'm supposed to be doing, but my guess is probably trying to get everything to center, which yeah, I assume that's the solution.
Ha! The lights are back. Let's move on to the next song instead. Let's see solemn and somber. Music!
That doesn't sound like solemn or somber. Where'd that apple come from?
Come on, you know the choreography. You got 3 whole days to perfect this 3-hour performance. Are you trying to tell me you don't know what to do?
So am I supposed to dance as Batman here? Yeah, I guess I am. Which, playing as Batman, which the game kind of pushed you into turning into Batman, is even more macabre.
Excellent! Let's keep up that energy.
The camera is just jumping all over the place, and my controller is vibrating.
Ignore that, it's fine. Wasn't even one of the important cast members, just the ensemble, the disposable ensemble.
Interesting. Let me climb up there to drop a giant, I guess, sandbag is what that's supposed to be. Yeah, I said it earlier, they probably shouldn't mention the death of Bruce Wayne's parents at all in a kid's game. And here they've made almost a complete mockery of it.
Hopefully the rest of this 100-year-old building will remain standing for now.
Yep. I just don't think that was the right way to go. So we got 1 gold brick, and I suspect that's all there is you can do here. A couple of Lego things we can break up there. Couple Lego things we can break over here, but that seems to be it. And notice it didn't even warn me that I was leaving because I'd already gotten everything. Shutter shenanigans, let's go try that again. While it may be iconic, I really just don't agree with the idea for a kid's game to have mention of the parents dying. I'm repeating myself, but I think it really deserves repeating, let alone making a joke of it. If they wanted to make a mention of it, they probably should have done it in a very respectful way. Like, I could have seen perhaps you walk by the theater and then you have random people talking about what happened, saying, "Isn't this the theater where the Waynes were attacked?" And maybe just not even say killed. Our sandbag debacle put aside, you so did great in today's rehearsal, relatively speaking. This will be the greatest show East Gotham's ever seen after the original inspiration, of course. I'm sure your parents will be very proud of you. GCN alert. Crime Alley, the musical panned by critics, Monarch Theater to be resealed for another 50 years. Wow, is that implying that Batman is well past his 50s? Because he would have been about 10 originally. Pay no mind to GTM, the Daily Planets, the reviewer to watch out for. Oops, I just deleted it without reading it. Oh well. So whatever the joke was on that, almost certainly it would have been that the Daily Planet hated the play too. Okay.
Must I deal with everything myself?
Okay. When I highlight things on the edge, nothing happens. When I highlight something in the middle, something happens. If there was a way for this... Oh, maybe it's a case where I need to connect this part to this part. Oh. Well, no wonder I didn't understand that, because I was looking at the big red glowing dot as the starting point. I was not looking at the black box electrical being the starting point. So no wonder I couldn't figure it out.
After this, I'll be able to prove the greatest archer in all the land.
What else do we have? Misdemeanor mistake. Frank is showing us a picture. I couldn't even tell you what that picture is of, though.
That old thing just fell off the back of it.
Supposed to know there was going to be a shutter.
Didn't I tell you to come here last night for a stakeout?
Oh, I thought you told me to try the stakeout. My bad. It was delicious.
Ugh, come on. There must be a clue to get this thing open around here somewhere.
That looks like a lot of numbers. Okay. If we're looking for a big combination of numbers as far as a clue, where in the world would we find that? You would assume it's not here.
More bad guys incoming.
See, and that starts a quest. When we do that. To break another recycling bin. The question is, where's the next recycling bin? It's not like they keep them particularly close to each other. I still seem like I'm in that same quest. Now the quest is done. Okay. Two more of those penguins. Let's have Batman steal candy from a baby. Okay. And there's trash cans that you can hit, but those aren't counting. We could do this race later. Are we supposed to do anything with the graffiti person? Doesn't seem like it. Okay.
Seriously? You didn't tell me there was gonna be a shut-up.
How was I supposed to know there was going to be a shut-up?
Didn't I tell you to come here last night for a stakeout?
So I hear a cat meowing. This looks like a parkour level of some sort. That's one also. So there's one up here, which implies to me that there probably isn't another one here. There's one here. So then maybe there's one down here. Yes, there is. Over this direction.
Perhaps this is another clue.
So modest misdemeanors number 5 was accomplished. And now when I break them, the police aren't getting called. I could pilot this boat if I wanted to. But, yeah.
Oh, I thought you told me to try the stakeout. My bad. It was delicious last night.
Ugh, come on. There must be a clue to get this thing open around here somewhere.
290186 is the code. You'd have to look at the poster, and I could definitely excuse people not getting that. You could also see people just not really liking this system particularly well. It is a mess. $290186, and it took a long time for that to lock in.
Woohoo! Did you do that?
No.
Haunted shutter! Run!
Perhaps this is another clue.
Yeah, I could easily see people not paying attention to this, even though it's glowing quite a bit. And there's Doomsday, came from Krypton. Krypton. Actually, I'd prefer just a clean shot of this, like that, and even that's not particularly good picture. So we've got like one gold brick, and then a bunch of races. Switch to a flying character. We'll probably have a on the road race, and then in the air race, and a gliding race. I'm trying to figure out the controls here. I'm not doing a particularly great job with this. Apparently both the right stick and the left stick and the A and B button all work together to do what I could only describe as pretty wonky controls.
Curious. Perhaps this has hidden magical properties.
I think the good news is, though, is the races aren't that challenging. Let's go towards this indicator, because that looks to be a character to unlock. Yep. There's the big green bats that I guess theoretically Red Hood would have fallen in to turn into the Joker, but traditionally the green bats are actually inside of a building, not outside. Definitely would make sense to potentially have Ace Chemical as a level multiple times in multiple Batman or DC games. So looks like this is going to be a Dance Dance Revolution thing. Red, green, red. So pay attention to the rings. So that would be red, green, red. Red, green, red, blue. It's gonna make me do this multiple times. Red, green, red, blue. Playing Simple Simon. Or just Simon. Red, green, red, blue, yellow, red, green, red, blue, yellow.
Curious. Perhaps this has hidden magical properties.
That was another Game Guru challenge.
You shouldn't have come here.
Now we have, I guess, a Red Hood
Foolish
boss fight.
Cheat move.
So Red Hood has a dash with his 2 red nightsticks. The game is getting a little wonky as it tries to have the character run around and I collect all the studs. He throws a nightstick at you. He attacks you. I don't know if he has any other attacks. It does seem to me like he is designed in such a way in which he doesn't really slow down.
That won't work next time.
Nothing can match my powers. But I shall take this item over.
I guess you might technically call Red Hood a bad guy. Maybe that's why the boss fights are the boss fights they're picking, and is that they've picked a collection of anti-heroes that aren't actually bad guys. But I really wasn't expecting Red Hood to be number 3 or 4. And then we're gonna come in here and spend extra energy and time to get a gold brick, I'm sure. Reusing this level. Hey Betty, can you help me? I just want to sing, but those penguins won't let me. If you can set this place up for me, I'll show everyone that I can make it. If they were gonna have him speak gibberish, it would have made a lot of sense. Looking nice so far. There's 2 more. They needed to give me a little bit more time to recognize that's what's happening. Particularly considering a lot of kids wouldn't have been playing with the subtitles as a... Well, actually, I don't think subtitles being on or off is even an option. I think subtitles are on by default and you can't turn them off. But I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of kids aren't paying attention to the subtitles in the game.
This is obviously not worth my time.
It's a little surprising the penguin hasn't played a bigger role in this story.
I can handle this. Always pays to be prepared.
Again, we're just doing a different version of Simon. But in that case, they're not gonna overly complicate it. You can see our custom character is glitching out, trying to get where we are. Nice. We got sound. This is going great. Now it's got some stage lights and a marquee. Oh wow, I've always dreamed of seeing my name in lights. I'm getting a little nervous now. This has got to be good. You have a lot of, like, sort of Lego, but non-Lego pictures in the background showing the penguin, which really makes it feel like he should have played a much bigger role. Like, we don't even have the penguin as a character. LMNOP. Oh, I guess we do have the penguin. It's crazy that we haven't played as him.
Returns. Ready to bring a little class to these proceedings, no doubt.
But here you can see he's shaking hands with the mayor. Here he's got a signed portrait with some famous actress. I love when the spinning gimmick in LEGO games break, because then you know there's nothing more to do with it. And so you know you're set. Like, Penguin doesn't even seem to have a glide ability with his umbrella, which would sounds crazy that you wouldn't have that. But he's just not a character with any abilities. We're just collecting studs and nothing else by running around, but it does inform me as to whether there might be something else to interact with by breaking things. Very obviously, they don't have a different instance for every level, which that's where you would have taken this to the next level, is that for every story level instance in which you were inside the museum here, or the Penguins Club, that's not a museum, there should have been an instance like this. And we have lights, is what he said, I guess. I didn't get but the first few sentences there. And then he wants me to bring down the microphone, which I guess was hanging on the... Oh great, a microphone. Just the right height for me too, which is handy. I struggle to hold a mic with these pins. Alright, let's hit it. Not particularly funny. It would have been more funny if he sung a perfectly in English song, and if this was in the credits of the main story, is that you just saw Sharky singing a perfect song. I don't know what you would sing though. It'd have to be some kind of old show tune. Maybe like a Sinatra Fly Me to the Moon type song. Thank you so much. I didn't get to all of that dialogue either. They really needed to make me have to press A, like every other character when you talk to him, so you pay attention. So yeah, the Penguin, with his limp and his little skip, is about the absolute worst character you could possibly play as. Like, there's no justification there. And we've been playing for an hour and 20 minutes now, and it's proven that when we do get to like a puzzle area, it is still pointing me basically to the same characters, same small subset of characters with abilities, even though I've unlocked several other characters. Okay. This one says we need a vehicle, so I guess the question comes down, which vehicle do we want to drive in? Probably needs to be a fast vehicle, and probably not a gimmick vehicle, so let's just go with the police car. I think that makes the most sense. So this is going to come down to crashing into a minimal number of people. Even in the police vehicle, we're not immune from having the GTA style stars appear on us. There's a real unfairness here, you can tell, and this really highlights that the driving mechanics and the AI of the other driving characters has not really improved much compared to where it was before. In like Lego Marvel superheroes. That was a major problem in Lego Marvel superheroes, is that there was really bad AI in the other cars. So it's saying I should use a motorcycle here. Did we ever actually unlock a motorcycle? Or should we just play with like everything we can play with? Like logically you would just try every single vehicle once, but I don't think I've done that in a single Lego game. The controlling is seemingly fairly tight for this vehicle, but perhaps too tight and not fast enough. If I get a gold after having to go back and forth like that, that just, I think, is going to highlight that these races are super easy. And I guess that is just the case. It does just seem like the races are super easy. A boating race is certainly different. We also have one more penguin somewhere around here. But we could just look at the hints to get that instead of wandering around. Notice that the date is not on this poster, or it came with from Krypton. It's only on that one poster. Okay. So first boat, Supermobile, T-Jet. We have a fishing boat. I mean, let's just see if we can put a fishing boat here. Doesn't seem like it wants to place. Jet boat. Jet boat probably makes a lot more sense. Come on. Let me hop in the boat first, then I'll press B to start the race. This requires a small boat. We'll place a boat over here. Let's see if we can hop in it. Do we have to possibly place the boat right next to the pier? Or maybe there's just something about jet boats in particular that's the problem. It would make a lot of sense for the other things to disappear. So things like that don't happen. Oh man, this is stuck on the ground, and you can see it's glowing redder because it ran into ground. Seems like this might control somewhat better if you hold down the A button instead of trying to feather and tap the A button. But that is going to require you to put more faith than I'd really believe in as far as your controlling abilities. That's not fair. I don't know if the game was intentionally trying to have us switch vehicles there, or what. I guess it's an interesting question as to when we have to reset here. We're just gonna get silver, but this will tell us the general idea of where to go. Okay, destroy that boat. Destroy that boat. Oh, you have to just jump on top of it, don't you? Before you can... And that doesn't feel like that controls much better, but that is smaller. Probably have enough time to make one mistake, fairly major mistake, and still get gold. And pretty obviously they want you to switch vehicles here and use this boat, but you don't switch vehicles in any of the other races. At least we haven't so far. And this vehicle may just be really slow. Definitely feels like it's being driven by a motor as a boat. Even though it has a big sail on it. It's actually a nice bit of Lego design. We'll just have to walk through the race. Oh man, it did it again. Attempt number 3. And I imagine if you were playing as a speedster, you wouldn't move any faster. So we had everything except for the fact that there's mistake here, which I did a second time, and a boat in the way in two different places. This definitely feels like this is faster than the other boat, so I could see myself just like popping out, touching this, and then moving around. I think that'll buy me some time, and that probably is the gimmick they're going for. And so far I've said these races are easy, but this one highlights where things can go bad.
But I shall take this item always.
The wonkiness as it's saving. And with that, I do believe we've probably done everything we can do. It's been an hour and 36 minutes. For chemicals, except for peeping penguins. Let's see. Why would penguin care about who's coming in and out of the swamp? So we can pretty well tell where the last penguin is. It's gotta be somewhere around here. Yep. That was easy.
Nothing can match my materials, but I shall take this item all the same.
And then I haven't done any of the poster painting. And Runaway Roundup we know is somewhere else, and I suspect all of this is somewhere else too. There could be a Bowtie Bandit thing. Yeah, I think otherwise though we've done all the challenges. We are now at the high marks of everything being done on Earth. 78% of the gold bricks have been collected, 55% of the missions have been completed, 70% of the races have been finished, 87% of the monuments have been vandalized, and 75% of the bosses have been defeated. Yeah. So that leaves us running around in the next episode to do the swamp, and then in the episode after that to do Gotham, and then it'll just be a matter of running back to say do this quest and do the challenges. Looks like there's a new quest over here that has popped up also. I wouldn't be surprised if something new pops up over here also. But overall we are making a good amount of progress, although it's not really even equaled 1% of completion. We're at 63.9%, and I believe we started the episode at 63%. We have 160 of 270 characters unlocked, 7 of 9 medallions, statues messed up, and 130 of 224 gold bricks. You may also notice at the bottom that the spinning animation is getting herky-jerky, getting that stuttering problem, even though the scrolling animation on the right of the studs is not actually locking up in the same way. And that almost certainly has to do with the fact that there's a shader or some kind of optimization that is messed up, particularly in this menu. That's about the last place though that still has trouble. as long as you disable the Windows 10 optimizations. Even the studs at the top are still spinning at the right frame, and the heartbeat in the top left is spinning, and the flashing of the new for the customizer, which I assume I'm just getting more and more customizer items as I unlock more characters. So all that code seems like it's been better optimized, where you just leave the game running long enough, the spinning animation in particular will just get worse and worse. Unfortunately, the game itself gets a little bit unstable too, the more you play and leave it running. And particularly for covering this game, I haven't really left the game running that much. I launch the game, I play for an hour or two, I take an hour or two break, I play again. I do that for probably 6 hours of gameplay at most, with 4 hours extra of breaks in between. And it's not that crazy to have an app open and expect the app to work when open for 10 hours. Now you can also see that it's fixed itself as far as the micro stuttering, which is not the way it used to happen. As far as characters, we can spend 50,000 on the Batmobile. There's no reason to wait. We can buy the Joker's copter and unlock those vehicles. And we can buy Red Hood's motorbike. So that leaves us just a small selection of vehicles left to get. And then I guess we'll unlock some more rows. Let's see. Dr. Poison. Let's figure out where Dr. Poison first showed up. 1999 in Sensation Comics number 2 in 1942, and then the current version was Wonder Woman 151. So there was an original Dr. Poison named Princess Maru, and the grandchild is Wonder Woman 151.
A daily dose of
which I guess that means Grid is still the newest character that we've seen. And of these first 3 rows, was there anybody else new that we could unlock? No, so let's just go down the next row. Lashina is one of the femme fatales. She definitely looks like she could be a newer character with the blue hair. She first appeared in Mr. Miracle number 6 in 1972. Mr. Terrific and Mr. Miracle, 2 characters that are not likely to be really recognizable for most fans. Crypto we know is an old character. Kite Man, he might be relatively new, but I suspect he is a joke character from a long time ago. Yeah, Batman 113 in 1960. People wouldn't know who Kite Man is, except for the fact that let's see when Kid Flash was first introduced. Another African American character, so I bet he was added somewhere in the 70s. Nope, actually very frequent. He's our second latest character as far as the current version in 2014, although the first character named Kid Flash was in 1959. Yeah. Wallace Rudolph West, Wally West. I feel like there was a white Wally West in 1959, but I'm not sure. Wallace Kanto is probably old. Anybody that's dark side is going to be pretty old.
Say hello
Johnny
to the
Quick
Syndicate Speedster.
as a Syndicate character, he's relatively going to be new. 2013. This is current version, but not that new as far as his original debut in 1964. They really are just combining two characters in a lot of cases, and that just happen to have the same name because they wanted to reuse the name. Jessica Cruz might be. She might be a new character. 2013, Green Lantern number 20. That would have been in the New 52 reboot. That being said, by issue 20, I think they had dropped the New 52 labeling and branding. It's just interesting she has like a Green Lantern tattoo on her eye, or around her eye. Of course, this game may have also only been released around 2015, so 2015 may be the newest character anyways. And in all fairness, if 2012 was when the New 52 reboot started, or thereabout, then you would probably not have seen a lot of new characters introduced anyway since New 52. Huntress having a 1977 and a 1989 version. I wonder if there is more of a copyright on the names and descriptions of characters than the actual physical depiction of them. Hugo Strange is from 1940. I would have guessed he was newer than that. I would have thought he was made for the Arkham Asylum games. Hot Girl, Lois Lane, Mad Harriet. We'll check Mad Harriet, just because I'm not 100% sure who she's even a villain with. She's another Femme Fatale from Mr. Miracle 1972.
Mad Harriet has arrived!
Mammoth, I have no idea who this character is from. I suspect he's new Teen Titan enemy. Fearsome 5. I have no idea who even the Fearsome 5 is, but it's a Teen Titan character. Which that explains why I wouldn't recognize him. Mantis, Martian Manhunter, Mazaz, which is Shazam backwards. Metallo is old. Monsieur Mala is old. Mr. Freeze is old. Mr. Mixelpix is old. Nightwing is old. Owlman, I mean, would just be in the Crime Syndicate collection too. So yeah. So far, Grail seems to be the latest character to be introduced in Justice League number 40 in 2015, which would have been after the New 52 reboot. And I wouldn't be surprised if this game came out in 2015, so she is the newest character. Overall, now we've unlocked the majority of characters. There's less than 2 full rows left that we can unlock in the next episode, and then there's just all these X's of characters that we still would have to find, and then everything else is DLC when you get to like this New 52. Wonder Woman is part of the main character set, and then you get to the Lego Movie 2 DLC, which is in front of the custom characters for some reason. Then you have a custom character getting split. Then you have TV heroes from the CW universe, and mostly Flash and Arrowverse stuff is what it's called, the Green Arrowverse. Although in all fairness, I'd say Deadman I don't think was in the Arrowverse, so I think that's probably reset. Zoom would be the last of the Arrowverse, and then Deadman would be the Justice League Dark DLC, which Etrigan and Zatanna and Spectre playing really no role in the story because it's DLC, but they really don't even play much of a role in the DC universe overall. In an Aquaman movie DLC, man, there was just a massive amount of DLC. And then a Batman movie, I guess Justice League movie, or potential future Justice League movies now that they're remaking them or trying again. Artemis and Tigress feels like that also should be a Young Justice character. So then you have Young Justice DLC on top of that. And then it starts over again with Black Beetle and Billy Batson for Shazam characters. And then it starts over again with Dr. Savannah, who I have no idea even who that character is. Who's Dr. Savannah? Possessed a heart filled with greed, Dr. Savannah was drawn in evil in his past life, trying to acquire powers of the wizard. So he's part of the Shazam group, even though he's not alphabetically in the right order. And he showed up originally in 1940. And then you just have Batman the Animated Series characters. Which when did Captain Clown first appear? Unknown. So he hasn't shown up in the comic, which I guess arguably then he is the most newest of characters because he's seemingly been made for this game. Anyways, by unlocking all of that, we have bumped it up from 63.9% to 67.6%, and we now have 188 out of 270 characters unlocked, which that's improvement in numbers, but not really much of anything else. We have 2 billion studs. At this rate, I think we could easily have 10 to 20 billion. I don't think we'd go very much higher than that, though, without wasting a lot of time. That's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want to further follow me on any social media sites, there's a bunch of links down below. And if you want to support me further, there's also a link to Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam and gift me a game off my wishlist. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.